welcome to the online learning week 4 update. I'm right now just kind of in shock that it's been 4 weeks, and in some ways it feels almost normal, but in most ways it still feels very new and strange. A few hours ago we got the announcement that we were expecting but hoping that we wouldn't have to hear our schools are closed for the rest of the school year. There's going to be a determination about what to do with summer schools by the end of the month. I was really hoping that we could just kind of ride this out like 2 weeks at a time, like what we've been doing. Previously, we were closed until May 18th, but the reality is we have way more cases than any other states, so it was kind of obvious that we were going to have to close schools eventually. So to kick off this week, we got a schedule emailed to us, and initially it was kind of alarming because it was sent out to the teachers and the students at the same time, which it wasn't meant to happen that way, but this is one of those situations where the metaphor keeps being used that we are building the plane as we are in the air. So things like that kind of happen, and it's frustrating. But the new schedule is that on Mondays and Wednesdays, math teachers are posting their assignments, and Fridays are makeup days, and then different subjects are posting on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it's not just math Mondays and Wednesdays. I think it's also ELA, but it was all split up, and this was the schedule determined with our 7th and 8th grade teachers, and the idea was to just kind of extend it to the entire school because why not? And it's just really about not stressing the kids out, because every day they're waking up and they have all these assignments. And for me, it was getting to the point where in my last video I talked about polling my students, and they said that they wanted posts every other day as well instead of every day. But it was a lot of work for me to put in daily assignments, and when I had an assignment that was meant to take up 2 days, I was still posting every day, which was just stupid and wasteful and confusing. So I'm now relieved by the schedule, but at first, like I said, I was alarmed because I was like, oh my gosh. And it wasn't that wasn't the plan anyway, because going into this week I did want to post every other day, but I wanted it worked out where my geometry classes were getting assignments Monday and Wednesday, and then my calculus class was getting Tuesday, Thursday, so that it broke it up for me. But it's better for me to be on the same schedule as the rest of the school so that my calculus students are not getting extra work on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but that was an email that I got Monday morning. It was sent out later Sunday night. So it was just alarming that I wake up Monday morning and have to make changes for calculus, but I was able to do it before anything posted. So once I got over the initial shock, it was fine. And I'm relieved by the schedule, but it's still a lot of work. It didn't really lessen my work aside from taking time away that I would be posting. So along with posting my assignments on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm also supposed to be doing my office hours on those days, but we have a requirement to do 3 hours every week, and I want to do it in a 1 hour increment because an hour and a half on both of those days would be too much for me. So I'm going to stick with my schedule of doing Tuesday through Thursday, because after I guess people kind of gave feedback on that schedule, it was then updated to say these are guidelines to help the students. If you can't follow the schedule exactly, it's okay. If you're doing something differently that's working for you, that's fine. So this week the change that was made in my office hours was that on Tuesday and Thursday I'm doing office hours on Google Meet so students can pop in and we can chat virtually, and on Wednesday I'm doing it just through email. So for that hour, I'm sitting at my computer and working on something, but with a tab in my browser open to my email so I can see any messages that I get and respond to them right away. And so I spoke to this last week, but the thing is that when it's live in a sense where you're doing the Google Meet, you're just sitting there waiting for someone to pop in, and it's you have to be on the whole time. And so for me, having to be on is just very, very draining. And part of that's just being an introvert. And that's how I feel about teaching in general. I feel like I have to be on, but for some reason, just sitting in front of the computer, having to be on when there's nobody there, and just having to be ready and waiting for that was just especially draining. So having that one day that it's just email office hours, it helps out a lot. And I definitely like the idea of having it in Google Meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because even if I'm posting on Mondays and Wednesdays, the reality is students aren't doing the work until Tuesdays and Thursdays anyway, because then it's due the following day. So whatever I post on Monday is due on Wednesday, and whatever I post on Wednesday is due on Friday. Every week I circle back to the idea of batching because it's how I function during like a normal school year. It's part of how I plan and get everything done, so I'm always a week ahead. It's been really difficult to start batching with online learning, and it's like a goal of mine every week to be a week ahead. So right now I am a week ahead in my 2 geometry classes. I'm not ready for calculus yet, so I'm probably going to spend some time on Sunday again. I mean, I'm going to have to spend time on Sunday getting ready for the calculus post that goes up on Monday. But overall, I found batching to be difficult because I'm not doing all of the same activities for all of my classes. The way that I was batching during the school year was I was getting my notes ready, then getting my worksheets ready, then getting assessments ready, then doing answer keys, and then doing smart notebook files. But now it's like this class gets videos, these classes do not, and then this class is getting forms, this class they're gonna have an activity instead of doing a form, and I don't know, maybe I bring it on myself, but it's just every class is doing something different, so it's hard to really batch, especially calculus. Calculus is way different than my other classes. I'm looking for videos. I've been using Khan Academy, but I found a channel on YouTube that I think I might switch to using that one exclusively. It's called, I think it's the Organic Chemistry Tutor, so don't be fooled by the name. There's math tutorials on there as well, including calculus, and I find it to be a lot more straightforward than Khan Academy. Khan Academy is really great because it's building understanding, but in a time like this, I don't know that understanding needs to be the ultimate goal. As far as when I was in calculus, I didn't care about any of that stuff anyway. I just always yelled at my teacher, let's do this, like tell us the procedure so I can keep doing it and find success and feel good about it. I don't care why it works, I just want to know how it works and how to do it. That went on an unexpected tangent, but I'm finding videos for calculus and then creating notes based on the video and then annotating the notes so that students can see me do the work, and I also just derive steps from the video so that there's steps for them to follow, and then I post all that, and then their practice is from the textbook, and I'm having to take pictures of the textbook assignment and post those because when I told my students on the first day of calculus, here's your textbook, take it home and leave it home, they decided that they didn't have to do that. And then I had to create some kind of form for them or slides for them to show their work on. And it's getting to be a lot, but I only have to worry about 2 lessons a week now. And then they're still getting their final from the college, so I'm also just concerned about how am I going to get through everything. I don't know that I will. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to prioritize what topics I teach. I'll have to skip things, but I'm not entirely sure what to skip because I've never taught this before. So luckily I have my math department chair. She can guide me through it because she's been teaching calculus for years. So I just need to take a deep breath and remember I have resources to fall back on here and I'm not on my own. That was completely unplanned. That was like a random self-pep talk. My other frustration this week is when I assign videos, it's for my geometry class or I do a weekly update video and I upload everything to YouTube because it's a lot faster and a lot more reliable than uploading things into Google Classroom. But the problem is that I can see how many students have viewed these videos and it's like ridiculous. I have 42 kids in geometry. Not all of them are online engaging, but maybe like 30 something are out of the 42, which really isn't that bad. But there's like 19 or 18 views on the videos or less. The assignment that I gave them on Monday, it was all circle vocabulary. And then in the video, I went into the basic theorems and that video has 0 views. So I don't know how they're doing the assignment. I mean, they must be just Googling the answers or something. I'm not sure that that's a battle worth fighting, but it makes me feel like, why do I even bother spending the time to make these videos and create them and then upload them? Because that takes like at least an hour usually. So why am I spending all my time doing this if you're not even going to watch the videos? So I don't know. I'm frustrated, but if they're getting, as long as they're learning what they need to learn, that's what matters. And if they're getting outside resources to learn stuff and that works better for them than a video, that's fantastic. But I feel like once I say, you know what, forget it, you guys are figuring it out on your own, you don't need these videos, let me not put them up, I'll have people complaining that they're not there. The other thing that's been different is I've switched up my morning routine. I've had the really bad habit of waking up, because I have my alarm set usually, and then just laying in bed and scrolling on my phone. And I don't want to do that because I easily waste like 20 to 30 minutes just laying there, not actually doing anything. So what I started doing was putting my phone in the bathroom, which is something that I had done previously, and I don't know why I stopped. But it forces me to get up out of bed to turn off the alarm, and then, oh look, I'm right here where I can brush my teeth. So it helps me get the day started sooner. I also started a 14-day fitness challenge, and that's it. That's everything I can think of that was different for this week. This week was, today I feel like a little bit better overall, but like yesterday and the day before, I wasn't feeling so great. And I feel like it's a trend for the week, is usually Monday's okay, Tuesday feels really good, and then I kind of get into a slump on Wednesday, which may or may not continue to Thursday, and then Friday it starts out kind of and then gets better. So I'm hoping that next week would be better, and maybe I can actually get ahead and start batching for real, because the only class that I'm really behind in is calculus, and I'm not behind, I'm just not ahead. So I gotta go. As always, thanks for watching.